Every gardener dreams of a compost pile that transforms kitchen scraps and garden waste into dark, crumbly, nutrient-rich soil food in record time. The truth is, most piles sit there for months, sometimes years, without ever reaching the lush quality we see in books. But what if there was a secret ingredient that could fire up your compost, break down stubborn materials, and create a living feast for your soil faster than you thought possible? That shortcut is alfalfa, and whether you use it in hay form or in compacted pellets, it can take your composting game to the next level. This isn't just about tossing in another green material. Alfalfa is a powerhouse of nitrogen, proteins, and growth compounds that act like jet fuel for your compost microbes. The debate for gardeners often comes down to which form is best, hay or pellets. Both have unique strengths, and both can completely change the way you manage your compost. Let's break it down in detail and uncover how you can put alfalfa to work in your garden. Alfalfa is more than just livestock feed. When added to a compost pile, it releases nitrogen, amino acids, and natural growth-promoting hormones such as triacontanol. These compounds speed up microbial activity, making your pile heat up faster, stay active longer, and break down tough, carbon-heavy materials like straw, wood chips, or fall leaves. Nitrogen is the real star here. Compost piles need a balance between carbon-rich browns and nitrogen-rich greens. Most piles lean too heavy on carbon, which is why they sit cold and inactive. Alfalfa tips the balance by infusing a steady supply of nitrogen that wakes up the microbes and keeps them fed. The result is faster decomposition, fewer foul smells, and a finished compost that is richer in plant-available nutrients. Alfalfa hay is the traditional form, cut and dried from the field, often baled and sold in flakes or bundles. When added to compost, it provides a fluffy, fibrous texture that improves airflow inside the pile. This structure is critical because oxygen is what keeps the microbial activity aerobic and odor-free. The advantage of hay is that it's easy to layer into your compost. You can alternate it between layers of kitchen scraps, grass clippings, or shredded leaves. It doesn't just add nitrogen. It also helps balance excess moisture, preventing your pile from becoming a soggy mess. However, hay does take more space and can be slightly slower to break down compared to pellets. You'll also want to make sure you're not introducing seeds into your compost pile, since some hays may contain viable seed heads that can germinate later. A quick check of the hay before adding it helps avoid this issue. For gardeners who have the space and want to add bulk as well as nutrition to their pile, hay is a great option. Think of it as the whole food form of alfalfa, less processed, more fibrous, and great for balancing texture. Alfalfa pellets are a modern, concentrated alternative. These are essentially ground alfalfa compressed into small, dry nuggets designed for animal feed. When added to compost and mixed with water, they expand quickly and break down faster than hay. The major advantage of pellets is convenience. They are easy to store in bags, take up little space, and are seed-free. You can sprinkle them directly into the pile or dissolve them in water to create what gardeners call alfalfa tea, which can be poured over compost to boost microbial activity. If hay is the slow-burning log on the fire, pellets are like kindling. They activate quickly, deliver a strong nitrogen burst, and accelerate the breakdown of materials. For gardeners in smaller spaces, or those who want immediate results, pellets are often the better choice. One of the most effective ways to use pellets is by brewing a compost accelerator tea. This liquid soak doesn't just add nitrogen to your pile, it also spreads beneficial microbes and enzymes throughout the material, ensuring even decomposition. Here's the exact formula. Take 1 cup of alfalfa pellets and soak them in 5 gallons of water. Let them sit for 24 hours, stirring once or twice. The pellets will soften and release their nutrients into the water. Once ready, pour this solution evenly over your compost pile. This method is especially useful when your compost is sluggish or too dry. The liquid both moistens the pile and supercharges the microbial activity. You'll notice within just a few days that your compost heats up again, often reaching those ideal decomposition temperatures of around 130 to 150 degrees Fahrenheit. If speed is your main goal, pellets usually win. Because they're already ground and compressed, they break down almost instantly once they get moistened. They also deliver nutrients more evenly throughout the pile. Hay works more gradually, offering not just nitrogen, but also some pretty important structural benefits. The fibrous stems hold air pockets in the pile, which are really critical for sustained aerobic composting. A pile made with both hay and pellets often performs the best, combining quick activation with long-term stability. The beauty of alfalfa is that you don't need a huge amount for it to work. A general rule is to add about 1 part alfalfa for every 3 parts of carbon-rich material, like dried leaves or straw. This keeps the carbon-to-nitrogen ratio balanced and avoids overwhelming the pile. If you're using pellets, just scatter a few handfuls into your pile every time you add a new layer of scraps or browns. Now, if you're working with hay, go ahead and add a thin layer, roughly 2 to 3 inches thick, between those heavier carbon layers. If you're brewing tea, 1 5-gallon bucket poured over a medium-sized compost pile, say about 3 by 3 feet, is plenty. Alfalfa isn't just a compost booster, it also enriches the final product. Finished compost made with alfalfa tends to have higher nitrogen content, improved microbial diversity, and even trace minerals that alfalfa naturally accumulates while growing those deep roots in the soil. These nutrients, well, they translate directly into healthier crops, stronger root systems, and higher yields. Gardeners also notice that compost with alfalfa has a looser, fluffier texture, making it easier to spread and incorporate into beds. Plants respond faster to this kind of compost because the nutrients are more available right from the start. The decision really comes down to your gardening style and resources. If you have access to affordable bales of alfalfa hay and plenty of compost space, hay provides structure and steady nitrogen release. If you want something easy, compact, and fast-acting, pellets are hard to beat. Many gardeners find that using both gives the best of both worlds. Hay for airflow and texture pellets for immediate nitrogen and microbial stimulation. Alfalfa is the hidden gem of composting, a shortcut that can shave months off your composting process and leave you with a nutrient-rich amendment your crops will thrive on. Whether you choose hay or pellets, you're giving your compost microbes the food they need to work at full throttle. The best part? This method is natural, affordable, and accessible to gardeners everywhere. So next time your compost seems sluggish, don't wait it out. Give it a boost with alfalfa. Try a layer of hay, a handful of pellets, or a bucket of homemade alfalfa tea, and watch your pile transform into the black gold every gardener craves. If this guide has been helpful, make sure to subscribe to Growth Hub Central, share it with fellow gardeners, and keep coming back for more tried and tested ways to grow stronger, healthier crops. Your garden deserves the very best, and we're here to help you make it happen.